Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, before I get into the video, smash the like button. Smash the like button, guys. You know, thank you for showing the support to the channel. Really appreciate it. Means the world, means a lot. You guys have been great. You know, I'm going to do a live stream hopefully tomorrow, so stay tuned. I can't thank you guys enough. You know, we've got a lot to catch up on. We've got, you know, to talk about what's going on with Crawford, Canelo. Obviously, this Khan Brooks situation, which is very intriguing. I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know your guys' opinions. I want to know what you guys think. But let's talk about you know, a fight that people want to see, and a fight that I really want to see, and you guys know what fight I want to see in boxing, and that's Canelo Alvarez v Artur Beterbiev. People seem to think that is the fight that, you know, Canelo may come unstuck, you know, from 175 to 160. If there's anyone that's going to beat Canelo Alvarez, is Artur Beterbiev. And I see why people see that. I feel the style that Beterbiev has is a very, very dangerous style. I think Beterbiev is the guy that could potentially push Canelo back, potentially could, you know, make it a very hard night's work for Canelo, because Beterbiev is strong, he's big, he's rugged, and he's a problem. Beterbiev's a problem for anybody. You know, Beterbiev's an absolute beast. But that fight, I believe Canelo will be pushed. But guys, I believe Canelo would stop it. It sounds crazy, but I think Canelo stops Beterbiev. I do. People may disagree. People may say, you know what, Imran, you're talking nonsense. You know, Beterbiev's too big. But I just think Beterbiev, he hasn't got the greatest defense. I think Canelo is too fast of hands. I think his defense is very good. Although I think Beterbiev will pressure him, because Beterbiev is a pressure fighter as well. He presses you and he makes it difficult. And that will be difficult for Canelo, because as we saw with Golovkin was a bigger man and he was able to back Canelo up. Especially in the first fight. Beterbiev's a lot bigger. He's a lot physically stronger. I don't think Beterbiev's as good a boxer as Golovkin, but that obviously, he hasn't really, you know, but Golovkin showed his quality against Canelo twice. Whereas, you know, Beterbiev hasn't really fought anybody. You know, we're still, you know, waiting for Beterbiev's breakthrough fights. You know, he hasn't fought Bivol. He hasn't fought, you know, a Canelo type fighter. So, you know, we don't really know how good Artur Beterbiev is. We know that, you know, of course, on the eye test, he's a very, very good fighter, but we just don't know how good, because he's not really been in there with the top tier guys. I'm really intrigued. I'm really intrigued to how you know, Canelo will deal with that sort of power, deal with that kind of pressure. Also, when Canelo, a lot of people say Canelo's stamina issue has been sorted. I personally think he's been fighting fighters that aren't able to put him under any pressure. They aren't able to push him. They aren't able to put him on the back foot, because they unfortunately don't have the power. Beterbiev has the power and he has the physical strength to push Canelo back, and that's what might make the fight challenging for Canelo Alvarez. I do think Canelo will be a much better fighter than anybody, you know, Beterbiev has been in the ring with. A lot more skilled. You know, his boxing IQ, ring IQ will be far greater than anyone Beterbiev has been in the ring with, and that will play a factor, of course. But that, for me, is a proper 50-50 fight. That, for me, is a proper 50-50 fight. And the reason why I'm doing a video about this is because I was asked on Instagram, what do you think of Canelo Beterbiev? And I think Canelo would, I think Canelo would beat him. I do, and I stayed consistent with that. And it's not it's not me, you know, being a Canelo fanboy and this, that, and the other. I think Canelo beats Beterbiev. But I can also see Canelo losing that fight. I don't like, you know, when I saw Canelo fight Billy Joe, when Canelo was going to fight Billy Joe, or Canelo was going to fight Caleb Plant, I didn't really see those guys winning the fight. I didn't really see those guys being able to beat Canelo. I just think Canelo had too much for those guys. With this particular fight, you know, I can see Beterbiev winning the fight, because Beterbiev, he's a big, strong, light heavyweight, you know, and he's a very skilled fighter as well. He's got a lot of amateur pedigree, you know, he comes from a deep amateur background, you know, he's had a lot of fights as an amateur, and he's done very well as an amateur. So, you know, this isn't a guy that's just a big puncher or a guy that's just a slugger. You know, this is a guy that can box as well. He may have not shown it so far, but, you know, the way he cuts off the ring, the way he pressures you, you know, that's all ring intelligence, that's all boxing IQ. Canelo's brilliant at that as well, and Canelo's picked that up through hard work, determination, and staying in the gym and living the life. Canelo has improved his boxing IQ, because Canelo wasn't a naturally gifted fighter. Canelo is a fighter who has developed over the years. You know, there's some people, like, for example, I'll give you football, Messi, he was just naturally gifted. Ronaldo was he's man-made. What I mean by that is he's got there through his hard work. Messi's obviously worked hard, of course, but Messi's more God-gifted. When you saw Messi at the age of 17, 18, he was special. When you saw Ronaldo at 17, 18, he was good, but he was wasteful. There was a lot of flaws in his game. But Ronaldo had to work at his game, improve his craft, and he now is an elite player at the very highest level. And same with Saul Canelo Alvarez. When Canelo fought Mayweather, he wasn't the finished article, but he's improved his game. He's improved his game through a lot of hard work, and now he's the best fighter in the world. He's the best fighter, Canelo, in the world. So that's through hard work. But he wasn't naturally gifted. Canelo wasn't naturally gifted like a, like, for example, a Sugar Ray Leonard, or maybe even like a Floyd, for example. They were naturally gifted with a lot of gifts. Canelo's kind of had to work, his way, to this kind of level now. Canelo, for me, when early on in his career, he was good, but he would load up on shots. He wasn't as great with his footwork as he is now. Canelo now has become very educated with his feet, the way he closes off the ring, the way he, closes the exits. Canelo is very good at that now, and that's all come through training, through the experience. Now he's in boxing IQ's improved, and now Canelo is by easy, for me, the best fighter in the world. And like I said, there may be guys with more silkier skills than Canelo, like a Crawford and Usyk, but some of the stuff that Canelo doesn't look as pleasing to the eye as a Crawford or Usyk. But Canelo Alvarez is as good, if not better, fighter, because Canelo can do it all as well. Crawford has the more silky skills. Usyk may have the more silky skills, but Canelo, that doesn't mean Canelo is as effective. What you got to realize is that Canelo Alvarez has been fighting top-tier competition for a very long time. What I mean by top-tier, he's been fighting, whether you think some of the guys were past their best, some of the guys were too small, they were still very good fighters. Terence Crawford has recently, stepped up, fought Sean Paul, which was a good win, but that was a hard fight up until, the fight got stopped. So this is the point I'm trying to make, that Canelo Alvarez is a very, very special fighter. Beterbiev is a fight where Canelo's going to be tested. Max Kellerman actually thinks that Canelo Beterbiev is the biggest fight in boxing. Possibly, I don't know. I don't think Beterbiev is that big a name, to be honest with you. So I don't know if it's the biggest fight in boxing, but it's a big fight. It's a huge fight. And that's because Beterbiev is obviously, he's a quality fighter. There's no doubt about it, and he's a dangerous fight. But is it the biggest fight in boxing? I don't quite see it the biggest fight in boxing, but it's definitely a big fight. It's definitely a fight that I want to see, and it's a fight that I want to see because all of the other guys that Canelo fought, they were all good fighters, but I didn't really see them having a chance of beating Canelo. I see Beterbiev could beat Canelo. I see a chance that Beterbiev could beat Canelo, and that makes me excited. That makes me nervous. That makes me get butterflies in my stomach, because I know that this is the fight. This is a fight that's it's edge. Like, for example, like a Khan Brook fight, obviously not the same level, but I'm a Khan fan, so it makes me nervous. It gives me the butterflies in my stomach because I know that fight, although I want Khan to win, it's a fight where I know that it could easily go the other way. So it makes you excited because you know it's a proper fight. It's a proper 50-50 contest. It's a fight where the other guy can win as well. The guy that you're supporting may lose. You know, that's what makes it exciting. But when you know that there's a 90% chance that guy's gonna win, it's you know, if I put up a poll about Canelo and Beterbiev, it's probably split. You know, if you put up a poll about Canelo v Plant, it's 95% people saying Canelo's gonna win, and I don't see the fun in that. I don't really see the excitement. I'm not like the Canelo Plant fight. I was excited because it's a Canelo fight, but I wasn't excited because, oh, Canelo might lose this fight. Canelo's gonna be in trouble. Like with the Beterbiev fight, that gives me butterflies in my stomach. That's the kind of fight I want to see Canelo involved in. Like, Makabu's a dangerous fight, but it's not a fight where I think Canelo's going to lose. Like, yeah, he might get hit with a punch and anything can happen. It's boxing, but that could have happened in the Plant fight. Now, obviously, the Makabu fight is more dangerous because Makabu's a bigger man and he obviously could knock Canelo out. If he lands something, he's a big guy. But Beterbiev, there's something about that fight where I think it would just be so great and I want to see it. But what do you guys think? I'd love to know your opinion. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.